So guys, I saw the movie last night and I have to say I was laughing, I felt sad and shocked all at the same time. So Nash, how did you do this?
Well, look, I personally, when I go to the cinema, I like to have those experiences where I am laughing and I'm shocked and I'm scared and so I was just trying to make a movie that I would like to go see.
Mm-hmm. And David, I read that in playing your character Harold, you insisted that he be a Nigerian immigrant. Why did you want to do this?
Suggested he'd be a Nigerian immigrant. It's more appropriate.
Yes.
No, as Nash and I were talking about it, we just felt, me in this role, which is not how it was written, is something fresh. But what we didn't want to do is just sort of effectively transpose onto an African-American character what you would probably have a white character do. Let's really push the envelope in terms of having something a bit fresh. So, I'm the son of Nigerian immigrants in terms of my parents moved to the UK. And there's something about the naivety, the wide-eyedness of being new to a country that means people can take advantage of you. And that's what happens with Harold. And I just felt to do that makes it feel more grounded rather than imposing something onto a character or making the comedy feel forced. This is actually what happens to people who are new to a country. And so, it was something that as we continue to talk about it, felt like it opened up the movie as well.
I think also not just allows people to take advantage of. Sometimes the person themselves allows themselves to be taken advantage of by trying to fit in.
Yeah. Well, it definitely worked.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And do you think that even though, when Harold goes to Mexico, he loses everything, do you think in a way he's ahead of the game because he ends up finding himself?
One of the great pleasures of doing this film, and hopefully it will be the case for the audience, is you watch a person catching up with the reality of their situation. So many of the other characters in the film are ahead of Harold in terms of, whether it's his accountant or his wife or his bosses. They know what's going on with him before he does. And you sort of just watch him waking up to it and then sort of getting into the driving seat of his own life. And that, I think, is one of the great things about that character's arc.
Yes. And Nash, you directed this movie, but you're also a producer, editor, writer, and stuntman. So when I was watching the movie, I couldn't help but think when the car, hit Mitch. Is this Nash getting hit by the car and rolling down the hill into the water?
It almost was. The stunt coordinator, Tony, who's a good friend of mine, he's like, the right double for this first Shalto is, it's you. And I'm like, yeah, but I kind of have to be back here.
And not get hurt as well, by the way.
I did cross my mind to take the hit, but luckily I found someone who also matched.
You also needed persuading. I think there were people saying, Nash, don't do it, basically. So,
we needed you behind the camera and to direct.
Yeah, there's still a bit of the movie to go at that point.
Yes. And how did you walk that fine line between seriousness and humour?
I think ultimately we just played every situation for truth. And, the humour comes out of the situation as opposed to, go, what would be funny? It's like, what would really happen? And trust that it will be funny.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for the interview and talking to Hey You
Yeah,
Guys.
cheers.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey You Guys!